So this is the painting I did. This is the horse, and as you can see, it's really pretty. It's nice, and I'm going to show you really easy techniques to do this, painting this horse with acrylic paints. And I'm going to show you techniques that are pretty simple because a horse is not that easy to paint. I did this one on paper. As you can see, it's mixed media paper. I'll show you the front of it here. So all you got to do is go by. Look at how big it is too. Look at all the sheets. Isn't that fantastic? I think they're only like $20 for all these. You get lots of paintings out of them. Look, mixed media. I may have it on my website. I have a Amazon shop that you can go to. I'm pretty sure I have one of these in there. I'll look for you, and I'll leave a link if you want to buy one of those on Amazon. And so I think we should get started painting. Now for our bridle, we will, I guess I'm pronouncing that correctly, I'm just going to put, let's see, I'm just going to put, for now, I'm going to put black and white together and make a gray. So I will just make it gray for now. I think that will be our first background color. Underpainting. Okay, so you have to have some color, a first color for your underpainting. And the first color can be anything close to what you see that's already on top. So if you're looking at your reference photo and you see some grays in there, then you can make your underpainting gray. And then put your colors on top after. Okay? So I'm going to leave some white there. And I'm going to skip over that there so that I can leave the white, because this is a silver section, and to make it look silvery you need to leave some white showing. And we'll also, if you go over it, it's okay because we can add white paint. So we'll just add our gray just so we can get the shapes. That's what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to accomplish with all these basic colors. Okay? That's your main focus. When you get a painting started, use one color for your underpainting. In some cases, not in all cases. But if you can get one color, especially portraits. Portraits, if it might be easier to get one color. But in some cases, like when you're doing trees, you can still do it in one color and add your other colors on top, or your highlights. But sometimes I like to do a tree or grass by just putting my brush into white, into green and probably a darker green. And I like to marble it. I don't like to make it one color, but that's in that case. But right now, in this case, we are going to just do the basic colors. This is the easiest way that I can show you, because making a horse like this is a bit complicated. There's a lot of tones and highlights and values and different colors going on, shadows, all kinds of things going on. So I could show you that in a more complicated way, but right now, if we're just trying to get this done and you're a beginner, you'll find it, long and tedious trying to get everything in place. And I don't want you to get discouraged. I want you to actually do a painting, and then you can practice other ways to do it, whatever makes it easy for you. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that little line there because I want to see where I'm going to have my shadow. Good. Because I drew out those lines that we had. So might as well leave them there and use those for where to put shadows. You don't have to. If you go over them, it's okay because you just go underneath that and put your shadow. I'll show you what I'm talking about now in a few minutes. Or soon. Soon. So if you leave that line there, that white line, you can use that as your marker for your shadow, your black, your dark shadow. But if you go over it, if you go by accident or whatever, I'm going to do the top one. I'm going to go over the top one just to show you. Then you can put your shadow just on top of it, or just on the side of it, right? So whether you keep it or keep that line or not, it doesn't matter. And then I think we got most of that done. This down here is pretty dark, so I'm just going to go with a little bit of black here for now. Let's just go with black for now. Okay, so that's the part of the bridle. Blacken that up so no, it's not the horse. Not the horse we're looking at. And then I'm going to follow the lines. That line there is filled in. And you know, this helps you get the shading, get the shapes. And if you look at it and you see something doesn't fit properly or there's something wrong, then you can fix it. But you might have to do this first before you can even realize that there's something wrong. So I'm just going to put some black here and here. I'm going to leave a little bit of white there between just to see where everything is. Okay. All right. Good. So just blacken this up down here. Good. Just go in with the lines. You don't want to get the horse's face mixed up with this bridle. It can be very confusing down here. So just be careful. Good. And here, this little part here, we'll put that gray just so we know where it is. It's part of the bridle also. But it's in shadow, so that's why you can't see it all. Good. So far, so good. Okay, let's see where else we can fill in a few spots. Let's see, what can we do with this here? Let's just put that little bit of a light gray there just to fill it in. Very light gray. Light gray is fine for now. Okay. Now see, my paint won't move, so I'm going to add a little bit of water to my paint, to my brush, and I'm going to wipe it off. And now that my brush is a little damp, my brush just got a bit dry there for a minute. So I just wet a little bit just to get the paint to move. That happens sometimes. Your brush will dry up on you and then you'll end up not being able to get the paint to move. So just make it damp. Or you could spray, you could mist your, you can mist it if you like. You can mist your paints, right? You can mist it. I missed it that time. One second now. There we go. I missed it. Alright, so it's starting to look like a horse. Good. Now let's work on the eye. Let's see, I get as close as I can for you. Alright, so what I'm going to use on the eye is I'm going to use a very small brush. So I'm going to use my small round brush, like this one. Alright, can't see it because it's too close now. I get it all close. There we go. There we go. Let's go around the eye with some burnt umber, and let's add a little bit of burnt sienna to the burnt umber to lighten it up a little bit. So we'll just use those two colors. We'll stick with those two colors until we need to use other colors, but this is the one I want to use right now. So let's go around the eye, the circle that you made, the black one there, and we will go around the eye with that color. And it's hard to see that color, isn't it? So I will try adding more burnt umber. See if that helps. Alright, so let's just get that on there. Go right around the eye. That's where the eyelashes were, so I went over those. You can leave it open if you want to guide you for the eyelashes. So we'll get around that eye, and we will underneath the eye. Okay, so I'm going to go around that again a little bit, burnt umber, go around the eye, good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the black and shape up that eye a bit better. Let's see. Make sure it's shaped properly. Okay. Got some down here. So just go back in again and get the shape that you want. You got a bit of a glare there. So I'm going to get you to pick up some white, and because the paint is wet, it's going to pick up some of the colors, so then it won't be so totally white. So while it's still wet, let's go on top of this. You know that brown burnt umber went around the eye? Well, now we're going to highlight some of that. So we'll just highlight that a little bit on the edge here. And underneath here a little bit. Good. Like I say, you're getting a glare, so hopefully we'll be able to, that'll go away soon. And then I'm going to take some more white on my little brush. And I'm going to give them a highlight. Now that paint is wet, so it may, a couple little highlights in the eye. That'll bring it out more then, see? See, it's starting to come to life. So we will. It's very hard to see the eyelashes. But if you want to, you can pick up some burnt sienna. Okay. Pick up some burnt sienna, and I'll get a close up again there. See where you're getting a glare? I'm going to probably wait for that to dry so I can show it to you properly. But I'm using some burnt sienna just to see if I can put a few eyelashes in here, which is I'm going to drag them down from this top lid here. Just a couple little, just a little touch, probably like a little tap, 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 tap. Hard to see it there with the glare, so I'll wait for that to dry and I'll be able to show it to you better. Alright, so next, keep it easy and simple. Let's go into our black. And what we'll do is we will put some shadows around the bridle, around these straps. Let's call them straps, because I don't want to pronounce them wrong and then you're going to laugh at me. I don't mind you laughing. I like to get a smile or a laugh out of you every now and then. Try not to take everything so serious. Yeah. We don't need to take everything so serious. Life is too serious as it is, hey. Might be able to enjoy as much as we can our time. Can't have everything perfect, but if you can grab a little bit of happiness every now and then, hang on to it for a while, because it'll slip out of your hands like jelly. But yeah, just grab onto it. If you get happiness comes your way, just grab onto it and hang on to it as long as you can. And then when it goes away, then you wait for it to come back again. It's like a boomerang. It'll be back. It'll be back. Okay, so we're just going to put the highlights, the shadow on the edges here. Okay? There we go. You might want to use a chiseled edge brush, but I'm just using a small round brush, so if you're having a hard time with it, don't worry, because then you can go back in with the gray and take some of those darker lines out there. Or you can bring them over a little bit for a shadow. But just go on the sides here. Don't worry about shadows yet. Don't worry. There we go. Yep, catch a bit of happiness, put it in your pocket, and save it for a rainy day. Now, so we got the black lines going in through there to outline the strap, and let's see, a little bit around here. Now they're not quite, I'm standing up, so I may have to get a different angle to do the smaller details, but right now I'm standing here and reaching over, so my lines are a bit crooked, but that's okay, because I don't worry about that kind of stuff. Like I say, we can, when we're doing our final details, that'll all be adjusted. As long as you get the main things done right now, just to get things in place. As you can see, it's starting to come along. Right? And all we did was, just to recap, make it easy for you, I just did the whole background of the horse in burnt umber, and then I did these bit of highlights. The second value, we'll call it. Okay, so the first value was dark, burnt umber. The second value was burnt sienna. Burnt sienna. And like I said, if you don't have burnt sienna, just add yellow and red to your brown. And then we did the burnt sienna, and that was only 2 values, right? 2 colors that we used. And then we went to the black. And then we did all the black where we could find the black. And then the strap we just did in a gray. So we did the one background color. So as you can see, if you take step by step like that, that will make it so much easier for you to be able to paint portraits of horses and cats and dogs and all kinds of animals. You start them off the same way, and then that'll be much easier for you. So when we do our third, we can call them highlights, or you can call it our third value or our third color. Then we will do the third color, and then we will do our final details. Okay, so that's the way, if you do it that way in 3 steps to painting a horse. I could call this video if I wanted to. But you know, it's 3 steps, and once you get your 3 steps done, then you can add your final details. Now we're going to try some highlights on the hair, and we're going to go with red and yellow. We're going to go with orangey color this time. And don't forget, our acrylics dry darker, so it might look really orangey at first, but you'll see when it dries that it won't look so orangey. So now you got this done here, and you're going to go back over it with, you may have to wet your brush for the paint to come off, okay? Got a little bit drippy there. See, you get a little bit drippy there, so just tap it off on your palette, put your colors on, and let's see what this is going to look like. Alright. So we'll keep trying. This part might be a little tedious. Alright. It won't come off. It's coming off, but it's slow. So let's keep trying. Kind of an orangey color. Red and yellow. I'm using more yellow than red right now. Might have to go back in and more adjust my colors at times, but right now I'm just going to do this. There we go. It's coming off. Why am I using these colors, you ask? Well, it's because of the reference photo, and I'm looking at the colors, but you don't have to have, you can look at all kinds of different horses and see what, you know, depends on what the shadow is. This is because there's a lot of light on this horse, a lot of sunlight shining on the horse, and it's reflecting these colors on the horse. So look at the reference photo or my painting, and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. When you go to my Patreon page, you'll see the reference photo there, and then you'll be able to use that to help you get the colors. There we go. It's a little bit tedious, so I'm going to continue doing that for you while you watch. So as you can see, it's kind of orangey, but that's the way we want it, because by the time we get all our other highlights on, it'll all be blending wonderfully. Like if you compare it to the other horse that I did, you can see color's a little darker there because it's dried out, and but we will add the highlights like we did over there. There we go. See? Kind of orangey. All those highlights, so we'll do that. Now, so make your red and yellow together and make some more orangey color and tap on the highlights here. I know I already did some highlights, but we need to really brighten them up much better. Just tapping them on, just coming down, and let's see where else. Let's just tap on some more around here. Alright, just underneath what you just did. Just tap, 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 tap. There we go. Good. A bit more yellow if it's too red, just get some more yellow. Keep it kind of an orangey color. And this part here goes around the face. Good, just tap it on. Okay. I'm just tapping it on to get kind of a furry look. Just give it a bit of texture. And then a little bit here. So around this part here, don't want too yellow. Don't forget it dries. It dries. So you can, as you're doing all this over here, you can keep going back and forth if you want to brighten it up a bit more. If you got more yellow on your brush, you can just highlight it there for back and forth on this part here just to get what you're looking for. If it doesn't come out the way you're looking for it, and it gets really, really bad, just paint it, go back to your burnt umber, and we'll start over. Because I'm having a little bit of a problem, not too much. I'm just going to go get some burnt umber and put in a little shadow here. I'll fix it up after. Like I say, doing a video is a little bit harder than when I'm by myself, and I take many, many, many hours to figure things out. Good. You just wipe off your brush and just tap around that just so it'll smooth it out a bit. So it looks like I need a little more highlight on the edge there, so I'm going back with my yellow and red or orange. Just going to tap down the edge there for now. So that part there, if it's too tricky for you, just have your burnt umber as your main background paint, and then just take some burnt sienna or some of your orange color and just tap around here for highlights. And if you have a really hard time, just put on some burnt sienna, okay, because there's so many different ways you can do it, and sometimes it's a little harder than others. So I got a little bit of leftover paint on my brush here. I'm just going to go up around the eye a little bit here, just tap, tap, tapping with whatever's left over of my brush. I haven't got much paint on there. I need to fill in that spot. See that white spot there? That's supposed to be filled in, so I'm going to throw a little bit of that burnt umber there. So only working with a couple of colors, so you should be okay for us to go back and forth with some colors without getting too fooled up. A bit of burnt umber there. Okay. And while you got the burnt umber out, let's add a little bit more here just because that's a shadow there. Okay. Alright. Doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look too bad at all. So I'm just going to fill in a little bit up here to match that. Same orangey color. Alright. The same orangey color. So I got a little bit different color there, so I'm just going to get some more. I'm just tapping. Gives me a bit of texture, which makes it look a little more furry. The horse got fur. Just tapping around whatever I got left over with my brush. That's all. So around that face there is mostly tapping on color. The orangey color or the burnt sienna, whatever works for you. That's better. Good. I'm going to add a little bit to the other side of the face there now. Okay, so let's go with the other side of the face. I'm just tapping also. I'm tapping, but you can rub it on if you want like this. You can do that if you want to. Okay? But I'm tapping just to get some texture, okay? You do whatever makes you happy. This is a happy painting. This should be the theme of my paintings. Either the happy painter or the happy little paintings or something with happy in it. Give me some suggestions. I'd love to hear from you. What would you suggest? I got word happy in it for to add to my channel name or to mention it when I'm doing some paintings. Okay, so let's just lighten it up a little bit here. So we're just working with the orangey color. So at least that way you don't have to go and look for a big pile of different colors. You know, you can greens and blues, and you know, we don't want to do that to you. Alright, good. And now we'll work on so we worked on this part here with some orangey colors. We worked on that there with orangey color. So all the face now is orange color. Okay, we use red and yellow. And if you find your red and yellow too orangey, then just add a bit of burnt sienna to it, okay? And that means if you don't have burnt sienna, just add a little bit of red, brown to your red and yellow. So, work with those three colors. So this up here for the ears. Okay, just tapping on there. And I want to have some here. A little bit here. And a little bit over here. And here. So I'm starting on the outside and pulling in a little bit. Good. We'll work on this part down here now. Okay, so let's just tap some of that orangey color down here. Good. And some in here. We got that nice underpainting there, so we don't want to lose it all. So by tapping like this, you can get to keep some of your underpainting. Some of the underpainting for shadows and things. Okay, there we go. So those highlights will make it shadowy looking. So go back and get a bit of burnt umber and put this shadow here. And that comes down around the nose, the nostril there. It's not dark enough, just add a little bit of black. Okay, I got some paint mixed in with it, which I don't want to do. Alright, that just gives that shadow there. Good. And if you lost some of your highlight, just go back in again and put it back in. See, you can just go back and forth, you'll be fine. So this part here, of course, is too orangey, so we'll go with, let's see. Let's go with some burnt umber. And let's take some of that burnt umber on the edge of the black here. Start moving it out into that orangey color there. See how that orangey color brings it lightens it up a bit for you? So underpaintings are very, very good to have. There we go. Good. It's okay to go into your black. That's better, see? Good. Let's take some of that burnt umber and fill in that bottom lip a little bit there, and see if we can get that. Good. Okay, let's just rub that on there. So the underpainting comes through, and then it's not so dark anymore. It's just, you can even let some of the underpainting come through if you want to. Good. And also we're going to use, let's try, let's see. Let's try a little bit of, on your dirty brush, try a bit of burnt sienna to bring this together. Yeah, there we go. Good. All right. And that gray underneath here will tone it down a little bit, see? So underpainting is very, very important. Okay, good. All those nice colors are really bringing the horse together. As you can see them side by side, they don't look exactly the same in colors, but it's really difficult to get the exact same colors. You do a painting twice. It's really difficult to get everything to be exactly the same as the other painting, but you know, you don't want to be the same as somebody else's painting anyway.